Are we live? Do we know?
Are you tired of being awesome alone? Well, so am I. So I imagined Tinkerbell and she showed up. Come be awesome with us. Oh my goodness, Tyra.
I didn't say anything during the introduction. Do I get a prize?
You get a chocolate chip cookie. I texted Shane. He's supposed to bring it to you. So, yeah, man, it's been a day, a week, a month, and even a year. So,
Isn't there a song in there?
yeah.
I'll be there for you.
Yeah, I am trying out another different camera.
Oh, jeez.
Different sets. I had to work through some of that today. Yeah, I can't. It's one of the things where I just can't get right. And I did a video yesterday on TikTok of how do you get motivated when you don't want to do anything, and I'm just stuck right now. And you were like slammed busy, and Kaz was talking to me before the stream, and she's got a lot going on at work. It's like, holy cow, people! It's barely spring. How do I feel rested and youthful again? I don't know.
Yeah, it's the end of the semester. There is no rest or youthfulness or anything. There's chocolate chip cookies.
I don't like chocolate, so
Well,
that
what
doesn't work.
do you like?
Ooh.
I didn't say it. I thought it, and I stopped.
You did. Ooh,
We have chats. We have chats. I can't do anything with the chats.
Have a great stream.
Ooh, Earth Station, boo. Hey, Valencia. Oh, it came in its own little box.
Yeah, I treat you right, Tyra. I got it special.
No.
Because you're great.
You did not do this, Charles. And he brought me milk because he is a delight and the best husband ever.
He tries. He
does.
He does. Speaking of trying to be a good husband, how's Shelf Watch going?
That was not nice. That was not nice. Okay. Oh,
There,
wait, you
the
moved me.
The fans at Valencia says, why else isn't Queen Tyra always on the left? So, yes.
Where did she say that?
Well, it popped up on the Twitch. So the Twitch chat pops up on the stream before it populates into our chat on Talk Studio.
Just confused
So there's
me.
that.
So
Hey.
here's Shelf Watch. But do you notice
But-
anything different?
It is clean and organized, and the Valencia bags are gone.
Oh no, they're not gone. They're in those bins.
You put Hermes in bins? You can't do that.
What? I
You
don't.
can't put Hermes in bins.
I don't have Hermes. Oh, you mean, yeah, like I'm not that kind of girl.
We've done this. I know you were gone for 5 weeks, but we did this joke as a running bit where you
Did
correct
we?
me. It says it's not Hermes, and I argue back saying it's Futurama bags because you are a geek girl, and it's absolutely Hermes. But anyway, that's not a cookie. That's a muffin top, is what that is. Holy cow! And you did ask earlier what I like. I like the white macadamia nut cookies from Subway. Those are the best.
This is amazing. I'm so sorry for all of our listeners.
And
It has-
Insomnia cookies. Look, if you want to be awesome, especially after midnight, go to Insomnia Cookies.
Oh, we love
Found it a
Insomnia.
Yeah, and they can sponsor us. So that's me trying to do a sponsorship bit.
This is
When
a
I get-
different. No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, go on.
Welcome to Be Awesome with Cookies, featuring Tyra.
Well, and this is a place that we had not tried before. It's called Chip. Because we have an Insomnia and we have a, what's it called? Crumble cookie near us. But sometimes you just want to.
I think I've heard of Crumble Cookie. I don't know.
They're really good, but they're like everything in the kitchen sink. So I'm gonna stop my video for a minute so I can.
So you can eat your cookie? Okay, you do that.
Yeah. So
So
talk
I'm
to me,
gonna-
Charles.
I don't even know what to say.
Hi, Sarah.
Oh, you said kitchen sink. Panera Bread has a great kitchen sink cookie that is the size of a plate, and I get it and bring it and split it with my kids. That's really good. So yeah, we're just talking cookies tonight because I don't know what else. to
We
talk
have no
about.
idea what we're talking about. We
It's
have no
been
plan.
I tell you, I didn't want. Well, I'm not kidding. I did not want to do anything today. It was a drag. It was. I fired up my camera to do a TikTok video. Nothing. Just got nothing. Just nothing.
So what's going on with the Charles? What's making Charles? Because we're headed into Mental Health Month, and you're a man who's always like
I'm a man.
outside of Chat GTP, you're one of the best hype men. Because there is no better hype man than Chat GPT, if I may say so.
Oh yeah. Didn't you get it to write do a podcast about you?
I did,
your
and it was a
achievements?
great pot. It hyped me like nobody's ever hyped me before.
That's awesome. Honestly, I'm just tired all the time, and Cause and I were kind of discussing having a million things you can do and feel like you should do every day, but no real specific path. So I'm not real sure where to get started some days, and I don't really have reason to be tired, other than I guess I've been going.
Going
That's
a
just
lot.
my life. I always go and do, and then there's a period of time where I'll get like a whole Saturday to do nothing for myself, or every once in a while like a weekday to take off, and that helps. But I don't know why I'm tired, other than just the constant unknown of what tomorrow is, or the efforts I'm putting in today being helpful. And I tagged a few friends today, and it's like, hey, if it came down to it, and I was looking for like an instructor position, do you have anything? And there's a few places. I always have something to land on. I guess it's just I just don't know what to do. And I don't know. Today was just an off day. It was definitely very draggy and tired. When have
It
you
was a
known me to
weird
have a
day.
camera in front of me ready to go and not have anything?
I know. I mean, you are
Yeah.
the showman.
The greatest, some would say.
Well, you're not Hugh Jackman, but I mean, you do have that kind of vibe. Like you're always ready to go, be in front of people, get on the camera. So for you not to, is interesting
And I
and not
love
normal.
playing with gear, and I just kind of put that off today. Like it's working, and as best I can tell, it's not lagging or anything, but it's not ideally positioned. And I was even Kaz was my sounding board. She got a nice little
Kaz is
earful
good.
for the 10 minutes we were talking. But like the lights, I need somebody to help me set my lights to where I'm happier, and it's just a thing, and
need a
it's all
shelf.
right. You do need a shelf. Well, you do. You could go to Dollar Tree and get you a dumb little curtain, a little short curtain to put in front of it right now.
There's a sofa below that picture.
I can't see it.
I
That's
know,
funny.
but
I
there's
can
a
see the
sofa.
Millennium Falcon pillow though. That's
Yeah,
cool.
that was a gift from the wonderful husband.
Nice.
So okay, so I don't know if anybody knows. Oh, Sarah Rose had the day off too. I used to do astrology. I still do astrology. I just don't do it for my substantial income while I was an undergraduate in college. But today there was a square between Saturn and the moon, and Saturn and Jupiter. That's been going on for a while, but Saturn and the moon would be the one that's kind of transitory. And that makes us really like Saturn is like the science teacher with the ruler getting ready to hit you. Like we talk about Saturn returns when Saturn makes its entire trip around your chart, and you grow up and you either get rewarded or you get smacked on the hand for what you haven't done yet. So Saturn in like conflict with our emotions is all about how we feel about the structure in our life. So like right now that's going on, and with the moon is in Gemini. So it's like we don't really want to be emotional about it, but we're kind of emotional about it. But we also have, Geminis always have two sides, so we keep going back and forth and debating, and Saturn really just wants us to make up our minds. So that would be my astrological interpretation of what we're all feeling today. Good times. I know that I had that Gemini moon moment this afternoon for sure.
What was it?
I walked out of, as we talked about last week, I've got a new opportunity in the fall that I'm going to be teaching in the honors program. And I walked out of my honors orientation and I just felt blessed. And I was crying. What are you doing, Charles?
I'm making sure my camera's not lagging.
Okay.
I'm checking things because I have no other way to do it other than to put up the phone where I can kind of look at the camera and see.
What are we doing? What are we doing here?
Hey, here's an announcement. You wouldn't know what was going on if you just go and download the podcast. You wouldn't know the difference. And I got our podcast put out today because I was a little behind on that.
I saw
but
that. That was awesome.
But it did go out today. So, all right.
So I came out and I was just bawling. And when we were at Stellar Fest, I interviewed Landon, and his name just left me. Anyway, beautiful man that we talked about last week. Charles, do we really need to be that close and personal? Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, we do, don't we?
Yeah, that's good. And he said something about that he had been very lucky, but he had done the work to be prepared for when the luck showed up, basically. And I just felt that in this moment today. And I just felt so blessed and where everything's going. And I was missing my parents. And I was just a teary, happy little girl. And then I found out some other news. And it really was like the opposite side of the coin. So then I wasn't so happy. But then we went and got Cuban food. And my husband brought me a cookie. And now I feel fine.
I get that. Yesterday, I took my son to see the accountant, too. And,
how was that?
It's if you like the first one, I think you'll really like the second one. The first one, it's a different flavor, but same kind of universe. It's the same things that really hook you into the first one, hook you into the second one. But there's definitely twists in the first one that you can't redo those twists in the second one. But I don't feel like the movie rode on those twists in the first. Anyway, I liked it. It was good. It was fun. Jon Bernthal, I think we could be friends.
By the way,
are you eating more cookie?
I was eating more cookie. I'll just be honest. You're lagging. You weren't lagging until you got up, and then when you got up, you started to lag.
Well, I checked. I moved my camera. I changed see, this is what I don't like about. I'm just be honest. What I don't like about Talk Studio, right? It was definitely cheaper than. Oh my goodness, I got to tell you about StreamYard. But it's definitely cheaper than StreamYard, but it is a little less stable. I think so. It keeps telling me no on 1080. Like I do it, and the second I do it, it starts lagging and everything else. So I have to keep my camera level down. Hardwired in. There's zero technical reason that should be happening, and that's one of the reasons we talked about it a little after the show last week. That I'm working on building an OBS platform for us. For that, when I'm running it, that we can do that. Then, if you have to run the show, we can still use this as a backup, and it'll flow just fine.
Because otherwise, I'll go Hulk smash.
Yeah. You know what? Scott Moore could come over to your house every Tuesday night and run the video for you. That would be funny. That'd be fun.
I'm sure he would love that.
He probably would. He probably would enjoy that to an extent. So, yeah.
By the way, happy belated birthday to Scott Moore. So if you're on Discord, flood him with some birthday messages.
Tell him he'll never be as good as me, though. That's the only birthday present he really needs.
Charles.
He starts it, Tyra.
I know. You two are just weird.
We are. It's fun.
But one day we're going to find out. We're going to find a system that works and that I can operate.
Yeah, I just like to let's put stuff out in the universe, right? Or is this a bad time to do that?
I don't know.
Are we going to get some drops of Jupiter?
I mean, Mercury, that's funny. I like that. Jupiter is square Saturn, so maybe it's a good time to press the boundaries of expansion. We'll take that.
Okay. So I just would love a service that is easy enough for Tyra just to plug in, hit the buttons every time it can go, but also has the stability to where I can push my high quality videos and get that studio experience that we all can do in our homes. And the only other thing I'd like to have added to it is an AI to cut out clips for our TikTok and Facebook and all that. That's like this is a highlight of the show. Boom. Also, I will bypass AI to say, anybody who wants to be our video intern and cut our clips for social media, that would be fantastic. And I'd like to do it for all of my media. And that's why I wanted a platform, because I know if we paid for, let's say Talk Studio did that. It's like crystal clear video, great, easy, fun stuff. And we can do the chat, put it on there and those kind of things. And then afterwards, I can cut the stuff out for TikTok easily. That's all I'm looking for, is a better way to market.
We're not asking for much.
it seems like that everybody wants to lump in all these things to see what sticks. StreamYard right towards the end just started doing some of that. It's like, okay, now you recorded it with us, and as long as the other side is finished uploading, which not every guest does that, but that's fine. But it'll supposed to cut you some viral clips and whatnot. Didn't really test it out that much because every time I thought about going back to it, I was busy and this and the other, so I didn't see what it got to do. But it also doubled in price.
Yes.
And I know, Tyra, I know I went in like February when I bought this package. So I got my taxes back. I bought Talk Studio for me to use on this and Wise and Nerdy and any other project. And one, the stuff I thought we were getting with it wasn't quite that. I thought they have a clip creator. And I thought it was going to be the AI clip creator, but it's not. You have to and I did that. I put us up on TikTok with me, you, and Dave. But I had to line everything up myself and do that. It's like, I don't feel like I have that much time right now.
Right.
To get clips. So they throw a podcast studio that is AI powered that benefits us in the fact that when you use a podcast studio, it does a transcript. And so I throw Be Awesome together in there every week to get the transcript, to then copy it, paste it in ChatGPT, say, hey, give me some good show notes for YouTube and Spotify.
We're gonna get you a pro level ChatGPT.
I got the $20 one.
Okay, so you have that one?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and then you can teach me what I need to teach it, and it'll be good. I don't know, but we use the tools we have, right? And
right.
But the podcast studio is a cool, novel idea for, let's say, yourself. You don't like to edit, but you have a sheet of text in front of you and go, oh, I remember when I said this phrase. I don't want that phrase, and you can delete it in the text. It'll cut the video for you.
What?
Yeah. So the podcast studio is part of this. So that I see why you're excited about that. I get that.
Perked up.
I don't edit that way, right? I do all my hands-on editing, so that's a tool I don't use. So, right. but obviously, but then they also have all kind of Twitch stuff that neither one of us really use, and there's so much in this package. But it's almost like cable TV. I really need these three things in this package.
I gotta pay for all the things.
So and StreamYard. Here's what I didn't like about StreamYard. You doubled the price to almost $450 for the year. I did misspeak the other day. I said $450 a month. Like, wait, that's not right. But $450 the year. But you still limit me to 720p, period. Yeah. And then I definitely had marked issues with that system throughout the year last year. So when I bought this whole system, I went in and to StreamYard. I couldn't get it. I stroked out for a second.
I'm like, wait a minute. I don't know what he's talking about.
And I canceled it. And they went, okay, you can use it till April 29th or whatever. I was like, cool. No big deal. And I did use it a little bit more after that because unfortunately, I just don't trust Talk Studio to not lose some of my bandwidth when I'm trying to produce a professional show for somebody else. So I went and bought Zoom as well. And that's where I'm building the OBS platform, all this other stuff. There's a lot of, right now it's just a lot of after recording production, which I got to make time for, but I don't really, I want a better system. All that being said, yesterday, $400 and some odd came out of my bank account for StreamYard. Yeah.
No. Yeah. Did you call them?
I went right into the system and it showed yep, we renewed you today, this, that, and I know I'd done it because I was making sure to be a month or two ahead of time to make sure I did not forget to turn it off. So I'd cut it off and gotten the confirmation. Nope, they don't care. I went in and, they did a refund today, but I went in and said cancel. And then I messaged them and said, I canceled this 2 months ago. You took it out of my account. Do not take it out of my account. I do not want to renew this. And it's like, well, here's a link to how you get a refund. But they made me jump through extra hoops, which is, but it did I got a full-on receipt for the refund today. Okay. It's going to take a few, it's banking. It's going to take a day or 2, 3, whatever to go back into the account. But yeah, I was like, this is the problem. Somebody built StreamYard and it was a decent tool.
Yeah.
And for what it was still a premium product at 200 and some odd, $20, $30 a year. it was a premium product for digital creators to buy compared to other stuff. And they did try to improve their service as they go through, but some of the changes they made weren't good. They got bought out by somebody else who is a company apparently known for just degrading benefits and doubling the money. And that's the thing. I know I said, no, cancel this. I had the date and everything. Like you said, you're good to use this for 2 more months or whatever. But then they did it again. And maybe it's because they expect people to not fight it, to forget, they have a 30-day refund window. That's a pretty huge window for you to kind of be pulling some watch the queen kind of, oh, did you really cancel? I don't think you, yeah.
No, and you could always dispute with your bank. Just keep those cancellation records.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm waiting for them to honor the process, and it seems like they will. But it was not a pleasant experience yesterday. And it's like, honestly, in this world, how hard is it to do one thing good?
I spent Friday on the phone with my bank, TurboTax, and the IRS.
Uh-oh.
Because my bank decided that it should send my federal refund check back to the IRS.
Why?
Yeah. I've been married 15 years this July. This is our 14th time filing our taxes together. And both of our names have always been on the taxes. I am the person that does the taxes, so it comes to me. But it has both of our name on the check. It has always gone into my account. The federal regulations say that it only has to match the routing number and the checking account number. You do not have to match names. But my bank decided that no, if one name's on it and then another name, both those names have to be on the account. My husband and I are not on each other's accounts. Well, we weren't until Friday afternoon at lunch, and now we are.
And now I have.
So, and it was.
I wouldn't even know where to start with that. That is infuriating.
I blew up. Not gonna lie.
Right. It's like
Excuse
turning
me?
away money.
That is obviously correct because it has all the numbers are correct, but because he wasn't on the account, therefore we have to send it back. No, you don't.
In my opinion, the bank works for us because it's our money, right? So it is not your job to make sure that the IRS is not getting defrauded. It's the IRS's job to make sure they're not getting defrauded.
Yes.
So what are you even doing, bank?
I don't know. But I would like to say TurboTax, though this was not their problem because it was after I hit the send button and it wasn't an audit or anything to do with my return, was very friendly and gave me and reaffirmed to me what I thought would happen, which is I'll be sent a paper check. I called the IRS to schedule an appointment at my local IRS office because we still have one. And after waiting 30 minutes for a call back and then getting a real human being on the line to help me make that appointment, she was super sweet. She said, hang on, let me go check. I think I can handle this for you. So I would just like to say that if you ever have a need to talk to the IRS, call the number if you can to get an appointment at your local office. The local office people that I've dealt with before have been tremendous. I love them. They were very kind. Just be nice and don't be grumpy. And the lady on the phone was awesome. So I can't say enough nice things about the IRS people I've dealt with, but I really wanted to bitch slap my bank.
I don't know. There seems to be no good business out there, right?
No.
Somebody somewhere, the one I bank with, is also getting in trouble in the past for doing some sketchy gray area things. Turning away money just boggles my mind. It's like, okay, I can see you holding it and be like, well, we don't want you to have it. Yeah, we got to verify, even though that would infuriate me too, and it's wrong. But if you hold it, you still get a percentage, like the daily balance, whatever, APR, blah, 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 that banks get. Just kicking it, I don't.
Well, and the hilarious part of this is that my Georgia state refund came in, which is also in both of our names. Didn't send that puppy back.
Weird.
Yes, very. So anyway, that's Tara's top tips for the day. TurboTax was also awesome. We would give them, hey, TurboTax, want to sponsor us? We would love that. Charles and I both use you and pay you lots of money.
Yeah, that's true. I am sad though.
Yes.
I am sad.
Why are you sad?
because it's not awesome, and this is be awesome together.
Okay, but
I,
no,
I
there
learned,
wasn't awesome.
I learned what I believe to be true. Again, I try to follow creators that there are ways to figure out that they are they're giving you correct information, right? So that I don't have to go and dig. If I hear something, I go, okay,
right.
it might not be 100% on the mark, but it's in the area that, yeah, okay, yeah, you were right. And it's more like Adam ruins everything. You ever heard about? I can't remember Adam's last name, but he did a TV show. He did a big internet thing for a long time, and it really was. He brings the story, the true story behind everything, and he does it in a way that's entertaining. And it's almost like the I think everybody knows by now the whole toothpaste and the commercial things is it's like 5 times too much toothpaste when they do that big swirl on the toothpaste, right? He does those kind of things, but it makes it entertaining for you to learn. Like, oh, really? Just this little bit of toothpaste is really all I need, and blah blah blah. And so I follow people like that, and I don't remember this creator's name, but he does a couple of series. One's is it a scam? Yep. I mean, this is how he does it immediately. Or he goes, I like fun facts. And sometimes I like really unfun facts. And, just to kind of make you uncomfortable and kind of wish you didn't know it, but it doesn't ruin your life. And one of those was every other country, well, maybe not every, but many other countries in the world send you a tax bill at tax time with everything all filled out, ready to go.
Yes.
Here's what you owe, or here's your refund because of, or maybe they don't, maybe there's no income tax, whatever. But you don't have to guess. You don't have to hope that you did it right. You don't have to try to hit the right button. You get a tax bill.
Yeah.
And it clearly explains this is why. Ours doesn't do that. And one of the reasons why is companies like Intuit, who owns TurboTax, lobbies against that because they make millions, if not billions of dollars every year processing taxes for us. So it's almost a double tax, right? We have to pay our taxes and we have to pay somebody to do our taxes. There was also a free version, and it's like, aren't we supposed to be able to just contact the IRS and they do it for us? I'm not sure about that. That might be a thing. You might be able to contact your local office.
It's up to what type of, like, we would not qualify. So, like, if you just have a straight return, nothing extra, and you're doing
like
the standard
easy
deduction.
forms,
Yeah,
right?
if you're doing that, then you're good.
So the reason there's not a free product from the government like that is because the companies like TurboTax, I keep saying likes, I don't know exactly.
There's a
They're
couple
probably
of
all
other.
in it together. Yeah.
H&R Block.
No, we'll provide a free service. And they do. If you have, like my kids don't pay to do taxes on TurboTax because it's basically an easy form for them. I just have them walk through TurboTax so I understand the steps and I know how to log in and find that paperwork if I need it. But they don't, they file for free. So these companies go, yeah, well, we got it. And they do have it. But then apparently the government was working on its own software for us to go in, log in, like I presume irs.gov, and do our own taxes. And that just recently got killed. And it would have cost about half of the stipend that the government pays these tax processing companies to process it. Yeah, see, it's not awesome. It's really bad for my mental health. Technically, today's April 30th, so tomorrow we're going to get better at our mental health. But today
we're
by
just going to
gosh,
suffer. We're going to
suffer and succotash right up
talk
here.
about all the bad mental health things we're going through. It's going to be, May is going to be great. And we are going to have some mental health shows. We haven't planned them yet, but we will.
Yeah,
right, Charles?
Yes. Well, honestly, Bob is always great for my mental health.
Oh my gosh, Bob Magoo next week. Can't wait.
Yeah.
I got to confirm with him.
And it'll be the last Wednesday
night
talking. That we record for a while.
Yes.
We're going to go to Tuesday nights at 8:30 p.m. live to be a little bit more flexible for both of our lives and what's going on with our income generating processes.
I know. Oh! Can I share happy news?
Always, please.
I know, but we were just, you got to segment it up. So I think I told everybody, and this will definitely be something that I want to talk about during Mental Health Month, but I started using an app called Finch, and I got it through a writing course. There we go. There's a little Finch guy, and they suggested it, and it was probably the best thing I got out of that. I got 2 things out of this writing course because I didn't like her very much by the end, but I got that I don't have to make lofty goals. Lower your goal standard is what I learned. So you can achieve it, so you feel good, so you get the dopamine hit, so you keep doing it.
Right, right.
Um, so I made it so I have to write 10 minutes a day. I write more, but it's easy for me to find 10 minutes. So that was the first big thing. But the Finch app has like changed my world. I've written 17,000 words in the last 39 days and worked on character structure timelines, filled out a wiki that has all my characters and scenes and places and everything in it. Um, so in like basically the month of April. And I haven't been able to do that since COVID.
That's really cool. I
So,
found Finch through TikTok late last year, I want to say,
hmm
and I didn't fully understand it when I downloaded it, and I realized I was going to have to put a lot of. Because my biggest problem is putting into thoughts and words of the things I want to actually accomplish to get them done. I tend to get. Oh, you gotta Finch.
I
You finished
did.
yourself. I
I
don't know.
finched myself because I was going in, I was going to like check off my things that I've done. So,
Yeah, that's great, pleasant word noises and whatnot. And of course, it. I guess I was thinking about how to help with mental health and balance, and it is kind of that, but also kind of a get things done app,
hmm
and it is a little on the
it's
frou
female.
frou side, if
It
you
is
will.
very, if you liked Neopets, you'll like Finch.
Yeah, it was not as. I don't know what I'd make different. I thought it was cool. I thought I earned a little penguin suit or something for him or her or
He's
whatever the
cute.
non-gender and the bits and bobs he is.
You can have
Um,
you can choose.
yeah, but it was like, all right, get out of bed, get you 5 point. This is. I was like,
I need
man,
that. No, there are days
I
that
get that. It's like, but I'm not there. It's like I get out of bed automatically and I brush my teeth automatically. So I get the self. Well, I guess I was looking more for AI self care. Like, hey, let me ask you some questions, and it figures
oh
out
yeah,
what I'm
no,
needing help with. And
no.
that was on me. I know my expectations was a little off there.
You think everything's AI.
I need to be baby to take care of. I was Gen X. Nobody took care of me as a child.
No, sir, do not go there. I am Gen X, and no, no, no.
You're the baby of a family, though. You were
I
always
was.
taken care of. No, I mean, not every Gen Xer is the same, right? But it's just, it was nice for the year I had an administrative assistant, and she really learned the way I thought and did things. So she really caught the things that I was weak at and very focused on that job. But it was good. I got to sneeze.
Oh, bless you,
Excuse me.
Charles. May you have sneezed out all the negativity.
I did. It's all over the couch where somebody's going to sleep. Later.
Ew.
It's fine.
Invest in Kleenex
Yeah, yeah.
or your shirt.
And I learned from the Wiggles. You put your arm over your face. It's
That's
great.
right. You're supposed to. So you keep your germs to yourself.
Yeah. Um, it is. It is. Here's maybe a non-awesome thought, but it's
We'll
an
try
okay
it.
thought though.
Okay, bring it on.
We grew up on Sesame Street, right?
Oh
The
yeah.
world at the time said we need to invest in our kids seeing positivity, seeing creativity, learning things
Yeah.
in ways that they get it. And the electric company was great for as long as it lasted, but Sesame Street is still
Mr.
going
Rogers.
ish. And Mr. Rogers was great. And fortunately, at least for a while, my kids aren't that age, so I haven't looked into it in a little bit of time. But Mr. Rogers Foundation
Mm-hmm.
took that whole vibe of what he did and made Daniel Tiger. And the only difference is instead of having an adult walk you through it, now you have a kid-aged cartoon tiger that the kids are living through. But everything else is practically modernized, but the same. The imaginary world. Because it took a while. I was watching it with my kids and my wife when they were that age. I'm like, man, this is really like Mr. Rogers. Like that's the imagination land, whatever he called. I always forget what he called it, but that's the king and that's the trolley, man. That's got to be Trolley. I grew up with Trolley. Trolley was my boy. That's Trolley. And sure enough, I did some research and found out it was the Mr. Rogers Foundation. However,
Yes.
it doesn't seem like we really got our kids to engage with that as much as this generation should have. I believe. I just saying there was a generation of kids who watched it that helped us be more creative. It helped us be more kind, be more connected, to treat people like human beings. And it doesn't seem like we have as much of that anymore. And right now, Sesame Street is about to lose their contract with HBO, and they're not sure if, for the first time in my entire lifetime, if Sesame Street won't be on the air anymore.
That's
You know,
hard.
and it's like, what did we lose? Where did we go wrong? And I think part of it was the why of what we do with that, right? The where Jim Henson's not making Sesame Street to make $1 billion, even though I'm sure it, with merchandising and everything else, it made $1 billion. He did it, always did it for the kids, always did it for the education, always did it for the enlightenment of humankind, and we just need more of that. As I'm reminded by watching Black Mirror, so we need more positivity in the world, and connection. So.
So in that vein, I'm going to drop it into our chat, and you will have to drop it into another chat. Kaz and I are Finch fans, and I love that. Um, but that's the Fred Rogers Institute thing. And if you are a teacher, or there's some other ways that if you interact with children, they actually have a cohort group that you can join, and there's scholarships if you can't afford it, or you need help affording it. But it is just wonderful. And there's the 6 fundamentals of learning, and somebody presented them actually at a University System of Georgia conference that I went to, and it was wonderful. Every single one of us just lit up as soon as he started to sing, "So You Want to Be My Neighbor."
Yeah.
So if you are a teacher, go take a look at it, because there are some really great, they're called Educators Neighborhoods, and you can join. I unfortunately don't fall into the categories that fit what they're looking for, so I can't.
No, I get
I'm
that.
sad.
Yeah, and that all I ever wanted to be was one of the kids on Mister Rogers, one of the kids on Reading Rainbow, or one of the kids on Sesame Street. And as I got older, all I really wanted to do was get famous enough to be a guest star on Sesame Street. That's how I've made it. If I get to sit down and talk with Cookie Monster and bawl my eyes out because he's real, it is amazing. And it's so
And
crazy. I was thinking, the reason I'm thinking about that, Tyra, is I
yes,
know I don't do real media. Like, I don't watch the news as a broadcast. I don't watch to see the 24-hour broad. I don't even turn on regular live TV. I really try to pick and choose where I get my input from,
that's because you're not a
because
sports person.
there's also that, but you don't have to watch everything else if you just watch sports. I mean, you can still watch sports and not catch all of it, but it's this hose of reality, somewhat perception, somewhat positive, somewhat negative. It's just a lot, and we need more of that positivity put in the world. I was watching an interview with Frank Oz. I have no idea what talk show he was on, but he had Cookie Monster there, and I mean, he's obviously in his lab and he's doing it. But the magic, and he was talking about the magic and the illusion, and he turned and talked to the talk shows, and the show host just immediately started talking with Cookie Monster. He's like, "Oh my god!" And he was just like, "Wait a minute, this dude's not real." And it's just, there's that magic there that we're missing with what sells in media. If it bleeds, it leads, right? It's the negativity, it's the car
Yeah.
chases, it's the Karens, it's the fights, it's let's take down Disney. Now, I'm not saying Disney makes all the best choices, but why am I typically only hearing the bad stuff and not what good they're doing? Because they are doing some good, and the magic is still in the park. You might just have to pay double for it. I don't know. I haven't been to Disney in a while. But I do follow creators who are honest about the problems with Disney, but
Yeah.
love Disney, right? And that's okay. Now I know I can get some unbiased. Well, nothing's unbiased. Nothing in this world is unbiased at all. But I can get some balanced. Okay, he loves Disney, and he will say, yeah, this is where it's a little off, but this is what we used to do, and this is some of the other stuff, and he even comes up with some ideas that are fun. But it's, I don't know. how do we be awesome in this time of Saturn reaming us or whatever that
This
square means?
dystopian future that we're in that I wasn't planning on. Um, I think the community. Let's talk about community because I
Let's
think
do that.
community is what makes things better, and that's why it's Be Awesome Together because it is about community, and that community can be you and your partner or you and your friend. It could even some days it's just me and my dog and my cats, but community is what gets us through when things are not so awesome, and help us define the awesome or the better in things. And how you build that community really matters because I know that like one thing I've realized about myself recently and is that I'm very naive and I'm very oblivious. So throughout my life, I've been a part of communities that at the end, I probably got way taken advantage of. And so now I'm very much more select about the communities that I involve myself in. And so I love digital media, but I take a step and I step back and I go, am I getting out what I'm putting in? You know, does it justify me giving so much to the community? And if the answer is yes, then we're good and we're solid. If the answer is no, then I have to look at the community, look at myself, see where the disconnect is, and figure out what I need to do. But I think community is how we find awesome. So there's my heartfelt goodness for the night.
No, that's good. That is some good goodness there.
I mean, because I gave a ton to a
Yeah.
writing community, and it was not pretty at the end. And so I look at the digital media track, and Shane will say, "Hey, what are you getting?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. They appreciate me. Blah 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 blah." So yeah, here we are.
Yeah, it's. I'm trying to move out of the point of life where lessons are valuable, and more into money is valuable, or what I'm bringing to you is valuable, and you feel like you're getting more than you're paying for,
Right.
and I'm really am in that belief with everything I've done, the hustle I've put into talking myself into this conference and that conference, and hey, let me talk to your celebrities. Let me do this show you've never heard of. Let me do these things, and I've done well with them. And now I'm like, I don't know what other doors to knock on, and that's where I'd love to have a manager or a publicist or somebody who is out there going, "Hey, I got you a $500 gig. You'll go over here and do this," or "I got you this place where you can sell your pins," which I still don't have yet. I'm almost gotten the logo down and everything else, and the little enamel pins I'm going to make.
For
I'm
what?
going to make like Bob, where has
Oh, like Bob.
Bob doesn't sell them, but he has a collection of those enamel pins. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got a few that I think designs I think will sell at conferences, but I'm going to get them before we go to Southern Fried in June.
I'm excited
And
about Southern Fried.
yeah, but it's okay. It's I don't know that freezes me up, to be honest. I don't have a real framework right now. Okay, comparatively, just on the surface to what Tyra has. She knows that while she has full reign and freedom to do whatever, I don't know how it works exactly, but she's going to show up certain days, certain times to teach class. And as long as she does that and meets certain criterias of whatever, she's got her money coming in. She's
Oh
good,
yeah.
right? And then you got the space to create and everything else. I have all this space to create, but it's like, well, should I edit a video today? Should I try to find another way to apply for money? Should I look at another, maybe I should go out and drive today for a couple $100 just to be safe? Who knows? And that's where it's like, if I had that I'm in that in between phase. Did Finch just hit the jackpot? It sounded like he made
No,
some
that
money.
was my work bestie just texted me.
That was a very pleasant sound too.
Yeah, work bestie's good. I love him. He's my bud.
But it's like I'm ready for the phase that is I'm able to generate enough income through what other people help me do to pay them to help me generate more income. Right, go out and book gigs or get me on
Right.
this show or that show or this or that, and let's steer it back to what I'm teaching or like right now, my main focus is One EMS Unified, and I'm trying to raise money for that charity. That's my charity, and it is to put on free classes for people to get into EMS. EMS is the people, it's the ambulance that comes up to your door
Very
when
important.
your mama needs help, when you need help. And there's a huge shortage in America, period. And the fire truck has some on there, and they will show up first in many cases, and they're great. But you still have to have that ambulance come in with 2 people on it to take you to the hospital if they're not first. And we hear that's all you ever hear in the news. If you look up EMS, emergency medical services, or ambulances or EMTs in the news, it's all going to be bad stuff.
Oh yeah,
It's going to be the ones who did bad things. It's going to be the true. Sometimes it's true, the really bad response times that somebody had to wait for 30 minutes while doing CPR. I had to listen to that legitimate 911 call one day. They'll break your heart, but it's like, because I was a consultant on a case, or they were going to sue somebody, and we had all the and I listened. It's like, my professional opinion is, with everything I hear on the radio, and it's all legit. They were on another call halfway across the county. No other trucks got available. They came when they could.
Right.
And there was, I'm sorry, your mom, and it is, we all are sorry. Nobody wants that. So what I'm trying to do is change that by putting people into the field who want to be there. It's hard to get those grants. It's hard to get people to go, oh, it's the same. Look, this does tie into creativity. It's the same problem you have as being a music writer, as being a book writer, as doing whatever it is that you do creatively, is you get a lot of momentum and you build and you get some attention, right? Then you get into this really hard mud area of slog. I used to play a game, and it was like the max level was 300. From level 250 to 300 was the hardest part of the game. Everything was so slow, the way the algorithm was built. But that's almost like life. When you first start, man, they're really pumping you up, and so you get all this momentum. You're leveling. And everybody's like, holy crap, you're amazing. How do you do that? And then you get to a part where it's more work, but then you get to that part where it feels like you're barely moving inches when you used to move miles with the same thing. But then hopefully, you get to that level 300 part, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I mean, it was almost like magic in the game. You get to that top level, and it was almost like, oh, I can breathe. And the game flowed faster and did better because there was no reason for them to hold you back. And you see that in actors, you see that in musicians, Metallica, right? They played all these underground clubs, and they hustled the garages, and they did all this stuff, and then boom, they were a success. There's no boom, they were a success.
There was no boom.
They caught the right steps. It still had to work. And it took them to, I think it was 4 albums in, was the Black Album, that they toured on for like 5 years. After that, that's when they really made their name, right? Everybody loves the Black Album. And then it became, okay, they can breathe and they can do all this other stuff, and then other things, life throws other things at you, right? And that's where I feel like I'm at, is in that crunch area. And because we all, well, I can't say we all, Tyra, but I believe you and I see this similarly.
We'll find out in a minute.
I would love to quit my job, but have to replace my income.
Oh yeah,
right.
No, I mean, I love my job.
Yeah.
When it's,
and I know.
I love teaching. Let me rephrase. I love most of the things about my job. I adore being in the classroom. So
Yes.
I'm lucky that way. That yes, I would love to be able to get paid to just write or do other things, but.
Well, and we talked about that. You and I have had those conversations of, well, if you were offered money to lead courses on writing or some form of teaching like you do, that wasn't built into a locked-in system like you're in now, where you could just go on your own choice and volition to say, hey, this is how much I charge, and I would love to come talk to you about the things I'd love to teach you about. Yeah. You would do that. And that's kind of what I'm talking about, is that it feels like sometimes it gets to that point where you have to let go to fly. But one, that's super scary. Two, it doesn't always work. Because right now, I don't really have anything holding me down from flying. I just don't know which direction to go in or how much energy to put in something, because I still have to put food on the table.
Right.
And that's something to keep an eye on. And yeah, if One EMS let me teach, I'd do better. This school I'm working with to get off the ground in 2 months, I'll do better. It'll be more, you'll hear it in my tone, you'll hear it in the shows.
You'll have direction. You're a man who likes to have direction. So
I need a manager. Come book me at gigs. I
I
can see. Look, I
suck
know
at
I
selling.
can. No, I know
I
you're
can't
with
do
me.
that.
We
I
we
would,
need a
but I can't.
manager. Come sell us to
Yes.
go do
Oh
other.
my gosh,
Right?
come get me. I could be. We can. I can speak to people. Um, I do think that one of the things that I asked the universe when I started this whole process of trying to what I call figuring out what's next, and I think I talked about some. Oh my gosh, where did my computer go? Okay, there you are. Nice to see you. That was weird. Uh, everything went dark. It was great. Um, I think I talked last year or the year before about my what's next, and I was going to a career coach and trying to figure out what's the next phase of my life because I'm 56 years old. I'm going to be heading, hopefully, please God, if the stock market comes back, headed into retirement at some point in the next decade or so. Uh, what do I want to do? And I asked the universe to make the transition easy because I think there's this idea that to change has to be catastrophic. Like some people in order to change have to burn down the house. And I'm like, I don't want to burn down the house. I like the house.
Right.
But I want some change. I want to know what I want to transition into what's next. And I asked for an easy transition so that I didn't have to worry about money and I didn't have to worry about, that feeling of chaos and of drowning because I'm just too old for that stuff, shall we say. So maybe you need to ask the universe for an easy transition that is obvious and apparent, and to ask for the road to appear before you so you know which direction to take, or that the right people come into your life. Because I think what's true is we've both done the work to be where we are.
Yeah.
Now we just need a little bit of luck.
Yeah. Yeah. Right people, right place, right time. We've mentioned it. I know I've mentioned it way more than once, but Wayne Dyer, we say yes and believe the right people will be in the right place at the right time. And yeah, I for the longest time, and part of it is karma, right? Part of it is that circular energy. You put it out at a certain point in life, and it comes back to you, and
Yeah.
perhaps you're more ready for it, or it doesn't hit as negative. Some people get into a negative loop that way, but I try to make it positive. Where, for the longest time, I believed I couldn't, right? I needed people. I had to have people around me, or I couldn't be successful. I couldn't handle this. I couldn't handle that. Yet everything I've done over the last 15 years has been, I made it happen. I literally talked myself into Atlanta Comic Con to sit with celebrities and interview when they had no idea who I was. I got to do other things. I've grown in Dragon Con,
Yeah.
and that's let's be real. Not let's be real. That's like we've been lying about Dragon Con this whole time. But I want to be vulnerable about Dragon Con. Of that became my watermark for very quickly after I started. I felt like I didn't fit in to Dragon Con at all when I first went. Like, well, this is kind of cool, but it's just not me.
Well,
I don't
and
get it.
I would say that your background is very different from most of the track directors in terms of your
Probably.
Dragon Con background.
Yeah. Not also life background. I mean, I came from a very sheltered, very small world, and while anyway, yeah.
Agreed.
And then I got involved in what I did know, the piece I did know, the podcasting track, and got to play
Right.
that. But when I was offered, unofficially offered the director's position, and I was like, well, this is a creative endeavor for me that will just be different than anything they've done because I don't know what they're doing. I just don't grasp their world. I don't fit here. And working with Regina and just saying, okay, what have I got to lose? I don't
Right.
I don't get to be director anymore. Okay, I don't believe I fit here anyway. So that was a talk I'd have with myself. And then it became that litmus test of the people appreciated it on the track. The track grew. But better yet was finding out, how much Regina Kirby, who is the head of programming for Dragon Con,
And an awesome lady.
and amazing. Yeah. And that's the thing. I could tell how amazing she was to start with and how serious she was. Like, if you're a comic, there's the Cellar, the Comedy Cellar, I think in LA or San Francisco. It's like there's one lady who runs it, and you have to be invited. But it's that level of person that they all respect her. Like, if you impress her, you're good. And Groundlings, those kind of things. Juilliard for dancers and musicians and composers. that's Regina. You could tell. She knows what she's doing. Obviously, this is an amazing whole show, and she has her hand in all of it. Right before they canceled for COVID, we had a real life directors meetings. We do those every year, and they had just done this restructure of some people had stepped back. Every year somebody steps back, right? It's just how it goes. And so they, okay, there's a new multi-level track director, blah, blah, blah. Here's how it works. And they called off all the tracks. Like, these tracks are going to answer to this person, and these tracks are going to answer to this person. And my track wasn't called.
Ooh.
And so immediately, as soon as the meeting's over, I beeline to Virginia.
Yes.
I was like, so
are you trying to tell me something?
He's like, oh, she goes, oh no, you answer to me. I'm like, cool. She's like, that doesn't bother you? I'm like, nah, you cut out all the middleman. Let's rock. Yeah. And it felt good when that happened. Yeah. And then from that day forward, and then I got this new position because they believed in me. And that's been my litmus test. Like, okay, while I didn't feel like I necessarily fit in, I think maybe I felt like I didn't deserve it. And the more I let their positivity play into what I do, the more I was like, okay, my vision aligns with your vision. Let's see how this plays out. The more I've grown, and I've applied that to other areas of my life. And I'll tell you right now, if the appropriate money was put on the table, and it's not a ton, it's reasonable. If Dragon Con said, hey, we want you to come work for us full time at this rate, and it covered my bills, done in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Yeah. And I don't want to go work back. I don't want to go work for anybody else anymore. You know, I did my time. I hustled for a while, understood what that was like, got back into working with somebody, thinking I was kind of working for myself. Don't want to do that again. I don't want to depend on somebody's paycheck, but I love what Dragon Con does as a people, as a community, as you said earlier.
Yes, as a community. Yeah, if they ever need a CMO, I'm here for them.
Chief medical officer?
No, marketing.
Oh, chief mental health officer.
That would be cause. No, we want to talk marketing. I'm your girl. Yeah. But I think that I totally get why you didn't feel like you felt fit. So obviously after 9, Tyra can no longer talk. The cookie has worn off, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's because a lot of us come from the sense that once we're a director or we're in that far into something, you've been at the con for a very long time.
Yeah.
And it's a part of your life. Like, Dragon Con is a part, like, now, of course, it's a part of your life. But Dragon Con has been a part of my life for 30 years. A major part of my life. I mean, let's just face it. I met the love of my life there. So I think that's very different. And I've always felt that different energy with you. But what you bring in is that concentrated knowledge within your space. And now, since you're one of the PR people, and now you're one of those over the tracks director. What the frack is that called?
Multi-track director.
Jeez, they need a new name. Okay. Yeah. He's a multi-track director. I don't understand. But I will say,
king of reality is what I like to call it.
Let's go back to community. The reason you are able to do both of those things is the community that you built in the digital media track. Because the truth is, you can step away and it will run.
Yeah,
and it's huge.
I will say this: the last 5 years of my life have 100% been, I did it my way. Because everybody I admire in creativity, musicians, comedians, actors, writers, they've done it their way. And I consistently find myself worried about pissing somebody off or saying the wrong thing somewhere, somehow. You wouldn't think it. I know. Yeah. I know.
Charles plays us is what he does. Much. He plays us.
There's so much. But I success comes from being you. And why would I want to be successful as not me? And I've had to fight over the last 5 years, even though I've had my ups and downs. The company I was with, I allowed myself to get into the wrong mental space and go back to a job versus running something or building something. But I built a lot. But I made every choice I made, and I did most of it my way. And what I didn't do my way was wrong choices on my part. Dragon Con has been my way. Um, Everything in my life has been, in the last 5 years, has been, let me try this and see what works and what doesn't. Building a solo game show
I love
was
your
terrifying.
game show. Yeah, no, I can see that.
I do so well with a partner.
No, I'm very much a partner person.
Yeah, but I had to. The partner I had, we built a great game show, and I got addicted to it, and it's like, man, this is my comedy. This is my performance. This is what I want to do. Partially what I do for the world, and it's just straight up crowd work, comedy, basically. And
Right.
you have to set all that up in the game, and I just took a blind shot at it 3 years ago. I want to say
3? No, 2.
2, maybe.
I think 2. Man, I don't know.
Well, it's at the end. Yeah, so maybe
It's
at the end
been
of
a while.
2023. Yeah. But I started messing with it, and the first run actually was at a company party, and I thought it went okay, but apparently, it was at the end of 2023 because I did it at the company party. So
Okay.
the company party this year, everybody's like, "Hey, you're gonna do that again?" Like, really? Because I wasn't gonna do it again, and like, yeah, no, we loved it. Do it again. So I did it again, and let them help me write the
Oh, good.
categories for the awards. Because we do more of an awards game show versus the anime
Yeah.
fandom face-off stuff. But yeah, it's still kind of a crowd work, busting your butt a little bit because we like you kind of thing. And it's killed. I didn't do
Good.
it at DragonCon last year because I second guessed myself. And even Joe was like,
And you're-
why, man?
You're doing it this year, right?
Yeah, I did. Especially after Alcon.
Really? Oh,
Alcon
that makes
was
me feel so good.
So I was like, okay, I can't keep myself back from the world. But I will say, partially is second guessing myself. Partially it is, I surround myself with good people like you and Phil and Joe who will tell me that I'm doing too much, because that is my biggest pet peeve in the digital world, is when somebody does too much, when they make it all about themselves. And I won't go into the long story, but I always reference a podcasting network that was teaching people to podcast. And the network was not a network. It was 12 shows with the same guy on it. He just talked about 12 different things and made it a
Oh.
network. It's like, that is not a network.
No.
And it was, I hate that so much that I'm very careful of what to put myself into, but I want to be in everything. I got a message today on Discord from somebody who reached out in our community in on digital media on Discord and said, "Hey, I would love to be on your show. I'm an official spokesperson for DragonCon. I'd love to come talk about that." And it took a while to check the message or whatever. And I got oh my God, that'd be so awesome. I'm like, ask me, people. I want to come play. I'm a digital vampire. You have to invite me in.
Please invite him. Please save me. Save Tyra.
I'm
Which
the
reminds me,
Lestrade of podcasting.
I got to talk to you afterwards. So
Okay, but yeah, because I want to play with everybody, but yeah, I also don't want to impose. That's the Southern Baptist in me, I guess, or whatever. Or it's not Southern Baptist. It is a little Southern, but it is being raised in the church. My dad was a preacher. People just show up at our house, and there's
Yeah.
times, especially as a kid, I'm like, go away, because I can't play my freaking Xbox while you're sitting in the living room talking to my mom and dad for an hour. So there was some imposing on our family. Some of it was invited, some of it was not. And I'm very sensitive to going, I know you would tell me if I didn't belong.
Oh.
Right, Tyra? But I'm very, it took a lot for me to ask Bob, even though he put out an application, it took a lot for me to go, I want to be on your show. But the way I
Aw.
talked myself into it was, he put out an application. Might as well fill it out.
I just want to
All
say
right.
you've been on there, but I haven't.
But
And
you've
I'm
written them way more than
feeling
I have.
a little hurt. And so next week we will be talking about that with Bob. I do have something. I found the lyrics to "With a Little Luck" by Paul McCartney, who is one of my heart musicians, and it says, "With a little luck, we can help it out. We can make this whole damn thing work out. With a little love, we can lay it down. Can you feel the town exploding? There is no end to what we can do together. There is no end. The willow turns his back on inclement weather, and if he can do it, we can do it. Just me and you." So, with a little luck.
That's awesome. Taylor Swift was a great writer, I tell you.
That was Paul McCartney.
I know.
Who did go to the Eras tour and has done Shake It Off with Taylor Swift at a private party. Anyway,
so much fun. Such
glad
fun.
we could rope that in. I might have submitted a panel with a Taylor Swift reference for the talk.
To the digital media track? Mm-hmm. I might not have gotten the reference because I know I've seen all your panels, but okay.
It's okay. I don't care. I would like for you not to get it, then I'll tell you. But Kaz has been lovely. She has dropped into our private chat that, by the way, just like we've been saying, Tales by Bob will be here next week. That's Bob McGoo, for those of you who'd like to be more formal about things. He is a writer, an RPG, game master, designer. He's awesome, and a podcaster and a blogger, and he does a lot with transparency and the journey of an independent writer. So I can't wait for us to rake Bob over the coals.
And maybe Tuesdays would work. I really need to see if he can be one of our permanent replacements. Like when you're out or I'm out, he's the first one in.
Bob would be great.
Yeah.
But he's still kind of a newlywed.
Yeah, I know. And
he still likes his wife, so
it's great. Hey, I love my wife. But I built this entire career married. And it wasn't the easy thing, but it is one of those deals where I knew I had to. I had to talk, I had to perform, I had to do this stuff. So I had to find that balance somewhere in there, and he'll find it. He'll get there. But he's a hustler. I almost got to have dinner with him this weekend.
Aaron
and I went down to Biloxi. Yeah. So we passed through Montgomery, where he's outside of, and this.
But he wasn't home. There. He wasn't home.
He was not. He was at some conference. As he told me through his Ring camera as I was beating on his door. I don't know.
If you told me you were going to Montgomery, I have suggestions on what to do.
No, we were passed through to Biloxi. We were going down to we go down to Biloxi every year or so, give or take, for a few days, and basically we had a budget of like $1,000 to gamble. So my wife got some inheritance money. We lost $300. That was it.
Hey, that's good.
And we were up most of the time. And actually, we stopped at a casino by Bob's house because we'd seen the signs like, it's up here. But he was off at a con. Because we're new players, we got $30 free each. We played for 2 hours and left there with $180.
Nice.
So we actually only lost $150 Rich this weekend. So
that's awesome.
It was really fun. So, but I'll tell the story next week when he's on. But what made me think of Bob was a prison that we accidentally ended up in. And so I asked him, "How close are you to this prison?" His immediate response was, "About an hour and a half. What are you in for?" I was like, I like Bob.
Bob is great, and Bob is one of the best souls you will meet. He gives so much and is so thoughtful about his life and what he's been given, and I love him. He spoke to my students this time too, and he just said some things that I thought were really needed to be said in this age of needing to find community and being awesome together.
That's so good. I would love to sit in on every one of your classes, and because I know I'd get stuff from Bob speaking and Faber and everybody else that you come through. I'd also know that I wouldn't be able to shut up and not give them crap. So
this is also true.
Yeah, that's it. But I get so much when I get to come and lecture, and it's a blast.
We have a good time. But right now it's 9:19, and for two people that did not have a topic tonight, we should probably wrap this up. So, Charles, where can they find you on the World Wide Web? Where are you awesome?
You know what? Go to Linktree/OneEMS right now, because that is the big project. That is will change the world. And
100%.
When you're taking money from people like Coca-Cola, it's just getting them to hear me. But when everybody can donate. It's up there. Every dollar helps. And actually, the project I work with every Sunday called Metron, and I've been doing Metron for, I don't know, 10, 12 years now, where I'm the chief tech officer or whatever. Basically, I go in and build the broadcast every Sunday and make sure I keep their tech running and make the magic happen. And CMO, I'm Chief Magic Officer. That's what I'm there.
Oh, I like that better.
Yeah,
I like that.
Cool. He saw my one and only post that I've done. It started last week, so I'm trying to space it out a little bit. But I went to Canva and made a poster of what One EMS is and some pictures and a QR code and saying go donate. So we're going to be the charity of the month for Metron starting tomorrow.
That's awesome.
So that's going to be very helpful, and that's it. It's we're take the money that's donated and make scholar. And I'm going to build the school, and I'm going to teach the school. I'm actually partnering with a school across the street from my house. So that was great magic.
That's awesome.
Originally,
See?
I was going to have to do it in Athens, which is an hour away.
Yeah,
so yeah, it's I got a location by the house. I don't have to buy all the gear. It's going to be great. I'm just ready for greatness to be today. So oneems.com, Linktree/oneems. Of course, it's the RGOP42 on Linktree is the Rock Out of Podcasting, not Republican government of pricks. I don't know.
I was just checking that you had the right URL for One EMS.
Yeah.
Because I'm that girl that just doesn't trust you.
Yeah, you brought that up on the show not that long ago. Thank you very much.
Number one, or spell it out. Spell it out. It's ONEEMS.com. So
and where
you
can they find you, lady?
They can find me at TyraBurton.com, where you can find all the things that are Tyra Burton. And there's a link tree, but just go to TyraBurton.com. And I'm Tyra Burton on every social platform, except for the one known as X that I call Twitter, where I am Tyra Ann Burton, because Tyra Burton was single and ready to mingle. And she's obviously still mingling 15 years later, the little hussy. So anyway, yes, Tinkerbell is TyraBurton.com. Go see me, and we can't wait for next week. And we're going to be having some mental health episodes for the rest of May.
Yeah.
And then we will do some Black History in June for Juneteenth around that time. And also it's Pride Month, I believe, in June.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, it is. It is.
So
indeed.
even though it's no longer on our calendar, it will be on this show.
So the listeners, can do takeovers along those lines and help bring things to fruition. So
Yes.
we look forward to that. And Tyra, when you finally get this book finished and you're going to publish it, and you have those quotes from like New York Times, this is fantastic. I want that quote on there, and my quotes right below it, like, no shit, 5 stars. Of course it's fantastic. So, but that's all about being awesome, and I can't wait to read the book when it's done.
I can't either.
And one of these days, I'll finally teach my videos and write my books, and we'll see what happens.
Well, we can help you there.
Only
that I
a
can help you.
million things to do and just no energy to do anything.
Cause said get your vitamin D checked. Okay, dude, go get some.
You know what? I should start working out at the picnic table. So I'll do that. Let's be awesome together.
Maybe better in tune.